Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to chessroots.com. Today I'll show you a game which was played by Gary Kasparov and Deep Blue Computer. It was played in the year 1997, a man versus machine. First of all, let me tell you some points very important that how to play against a computer. Basically, computer is like it will think all the moves, possible moves, and all the good squares available, and it will go in very high depth. For humans, we will never consider such a bad moves. Even in this position, in the starting position, computer will analyze a moves like a3 and h3 even in the opening move, whereas humans will be concentrating on the plan and go according to the plan. So to beat a computer we need a high positional knowledge, and not in calculations. We cannot beat a computer in an open board or a position when it is highly calculated, because computer thinks more moves than humans. To beat a computer, just try to create a weakness and go into a position where computer database don't have much games in it. So main thing in beating a computer is we should have a good positional knowledge and should try to weak their position and then attack on the weakness. A good chance for to beat a computer is when a position is closed and there is a one side plan or flank attack, then we can easily misguide the computer, because computer cannot do anything if there is no fixed standard continuations. So to beat a computer we just need a positional game, not a tactical, and a very simple planning, and we need to do a weakness and try to play on that. So let us see what Kasparov played and how he beat the computer Deep Blue. He played knight f3, d5, g3, bishop g4. Now here Kasparov opted to play b3, a very interesting idea. Now the computer is trying to limit the database, and he doesn't want to play any line of major openings. So knight d7, bishop b2, e6. So bishop g2, knight gf6, castles. This was a very standard position we often see with many grandmasters. Even white will slowly open up with d3, e4, and maybe rook even h3, where this position, one should say it is a equal position for both, and doesn't white really doesn't have any good advantage in the opening move. So yeah, c6, d3, bishop d6, knight bd2, castle, h3, bishop h5. We often see this type of position. This will mostly comes in King's Indian attack, where white will play e4 later, maybe knight h4 or knight h2, then f4, e5. So here white played e3 in view of just waiting for the reply of the computer. He will later open with e4. So h6. So in this position, I think the move e3 wasted a valuable move like h6 for the computer. This is a standard position where black should play a5 and try to seize the initiative on the queen side, but h6, I think he is very bad. He just kept the computer just kept a retrieving square for his bishop, or maybe when he wants to play g5 at one moment. So Kasparov continued with queen e1, queen a5. Now computer just tries to play bishop a3, maybe exchanging this good bishop on b2, or even trying to make a queen's exchange if this knight is moved, but this knight don't really have a good square. So Kasparov's first prevented with a3. Now he played computer played c. This is a position where none of the white or black moves are really forced. So in this type of continuations, computers usually do mistakes because there is no forced continuation and computer really don't know what to do in this type of positions. It hardly search for a good positional move and fail to do it, whereas humans can uh, get a nice grip on any type of positional rather than a very complicated and tactics. The problem with tactics is even Kasparov is heavy tactician, but yet he might miss a move which computer will never miss a slightest of errors. So it is very risky even for a range of Kasparov to play a tactical game with a computer. See, in this position, if you're black, a normal human will play at least like a move like bishop g6, preventing e4 maybe, or rook e8, threatening to play c5, or even queen c7, uh, threatening to play a5, or even sometimes he can get a sack on g3, or even e5, rook e1, or bishop g6. So these are the very logical continuations, but see, there are so many lots of options. So computer played a dubious move with bishop c7. I think this move is little bad because the first point is it is blocking the queen movement to retrieve to any other square like c7 or d8. And second thing is computer is overcautious of playing e4 and e5 maybe. If without bishop c7, maybe black played if rook a8 and moves like bishop f6, bishop f6, n e4, and knight e1, knight f6, g f6, rook f1. This position is good for both the sides. One should say after this white is slightly better. When black is having double bishops, this position hardly opens up. So after bishop c7, white played knight h4, and black, the computer played g5. This looks very odd to any human. It surprisingly weaks everything in black's camp, and at one point, maybe after knight to f3 and h2, f4 like things will open black king very badly. e4 f4. So the normal idea of black here should be playing on the queen side rather playing and weakening the move of king side like g5. So knight hf3, e5. See, in this position there is a big weakness on f5 square, and e5 pawn and f g5 pawn looks terribly bad. We never see any human playing such a moves like e5 and h5, weakening the f5, and after e4 maybe this position, and this bishop on c7 doesn't have any goal, queen on a5 doesn't have anything, and bishop on h4 really don't have anything. White really don't need to do anything. He just needs to shut down the black active pieces, so that he can maneuver and plan for the little game. Okay, Kasparov sees the initiative and block away all the pieces of black. So after e4, rook f e8 and knight h2. Now knight h2 really are very good, because after g4 white simply can play h4, and this bishop on h5 is even worse. In this King's Indian attack, white have lots of plan. Yeah, now white can simply play like more queen c1, rook e1, and knight f1, maybe g4, knight e3, or knight g3. So computer played q b6 and queen c1, a5. Now I think a4, a5 is not that effective, because even after black playing a4, white can meet with b4, and there is no counter with c5. a4 for example and b4, they cannot be counter with c5, because this knight will have a key square on d4 after e into d5, and this pawn can be supported with c3. So the planning of a5 is not so effective. So, and this will weaken even f5 more. So after a5 he played rook e1,